This episode is provided by Thomas Allgaier and Frennis, based on the most relevant LinkedIn posts about MarTech from calendar weeks 26 and 27. Frennis is a B2B market research company that supports enterprise marketing teams in unlocking the full potential of their customer data with the help of AI. You can find more info in the description. So what if the millions of dollars your company just spent painstakingly integrating its marketing technology stack is, exactly what's going to make your entire department structurally obsolete in 2 years?
Man, that is the multi-million-dollar question keeping chief marketing officers awake at night right now.
Yeah, and it's exactly what we are exploring today. Welcome back to the Deep Dive, everyone. We're looking at a fascinating stack of curated insights from top B2B marketing professionals over on LinkedIn. And really, the overarching theme here is this radical shift from buying isolated software tools to building this autonomous AI-driven marketing ecosystem.
Right. And our core mission today is to essentially distill all that noise, because there's a lot of hype around agentic AI, vendor consolidation, data architecture. We want to figure out what's real, what's just vendor spin, and how you can actually prepare for a reality where the rules of software have just fundamentally changed.
Yeah, let's jump right into the most aggressive claim we found, which is that the very concept of a MarTech stack is just dead.
Yep, completely dead.
Rupert Steffner brought this up. He argues that competitive advantage no longer comes from the tools you happen to own, but from transforming marketing into this, what he calls a value discovery and activation flywheel, basically a marketing AI operating model.
Right. And the distinction between a stack and a flywheel is, it's entirely about mechanics. Think about a traditional software stack, like a tower of blocks, right?
Right, yeah.
You buy a marketing automation platform, you stick a webinar tool on top of it, maybe slide a CRM underneath, but it just sits there waiting for a human to pull the levers.
Right. It's passive.
Exactly. But a flywheel, when it's driven by AI agents, is structurally different because it's autonomous. It continuously mines your data, finds a buying signal, spins up a campaign to capture it, measures it, and then, and this is key, feeds that learning back into the system so it spins faster the next time.
That sounds amazing, but you can't just, go shopping for a flywheel, right?
No, definitely not.
Jane Van Doesburg made a brilliant point about this. She said you have to design the business operating model before you even look at a single piece of technology.
Oh, absolutely.
Ask yourself where the business wants to be in 5 years and figure out what decisions should be automated versus what actually needs a human.
Because if you don't do that, if you don't define the business logic first, any AI you buy is just going to automate your current dysfunction.
It's doing the wrong things lightning fast.
Exactly. And this ties perfectly into what John Miller calls reasoning AI. He pointed out that legacy marketing automation platforms are basically just rigid IF-thin rules engines.
Oh yeah, MOP's teams spend their whole lives writing that, we call it spaghetti logic.
Yep, spaghetti logic.
Like if a lead fills out this form at a point, they live in California, route them here.
And the fatal flaw there is that human data is just incredibly messy. A buyer might type CA or PAL or CALIF into a form.
Right.
And in a legacy system, if you didn't manually write a rule for every single spelling, the system breaks. The lead is lost. Reasoning AI changes that entirely because it uses large language models to interpret the ambiguity.
So it actually understands the context.
Right. It looks at a profile and intrinsically knows that a director of operations at a logistics company is totally different from a director of operations at a software company. It doesn't need a human to write a specific routing rule for every variation.
Okay, I hear that, but I have to push back a little here. Are we just, isn't an operating model just a fancy consultant-y way of saying a well-organized tech stack? Are we just rebranding the same old software to sound futuristic?
I get why you'd say that. It definitely sounds like a rebrand on the surface. But Ahmed Datu mapped out this 6-layer marketing operating system to show why it's a structural evolution, not just a label.
Okay, walk me through that.
So these layers are specifically designed to give AI agents the safe environment they need. At the bottom, you have the data and identity layer. That's where the system figures out, who is this person?
Right, merging all those behavioral signals.
Exactly. Then layer 2 is lifecycle, which tells the AI where they are in the buying journey. Layer 3 is policy. And this one is massive.
Oh, because that's the guardrails, right?
Yes. Policy houses your ideal customer profile, your compliance rules. It literally tells the AI, you can offer a discount here, but absolutely not to this other group.
Okay, so that keeps the AI from going rogue.
Precisely. Then above that is decisioning, the brain that picks the next best action. Then omni-channel action, which actually sends the email. And finally, learning and measurement sitting on top.
Wow, okay. So it's this perfectly sequenced, pristine, 6-layer sandbox. But what happens when you plug those agents into the duct-taped, messy tools most companies actually have right now?
Oh, it's just complete chaos. Karsten Lackner issued a stark warning about this. He said, adding AI to a messy stack doesn't fix it. AI inherits your data. It doesn't magically solve it.
Right, so you're just empowering your company to be wrong at scale.
Exactly. If your CRM thinks a customer is active, but your billing software knows they churned, the AI is going to send highly personalized retention emails to someone who's actively suing you.
Oh, man. That is a nightmare. And that really brings us to what Prof. Alex Varses calls the integration tax, right? Or the data latency penalty.
Yes, this is a huge mechanical problem.
Because for years, the gold standard was building a best-of-breed stack. Buy the best webinar tool, the best email tool, and just stitch them together with custom APIs.
But those API bridges cause massive data delays. They are not instantaneous.
Right, you have to extract the data, translate it, load it.
Yep. So imagine a prospect hits your pricing page right now, showing huge intent. By the time that signal goes from the web tracker across the API into the CRM, waits in a queue, and syncs to the outreach tool.
15 minutes have passed.
Exactly. And in an AI world, 15 minutes is an eternity. Your best-of-breed advantage is gone because a competitor with a natively integrated platform already engaged them.
Which is why Janine Ferguson updated her MarTech framework to make data standardization a mandatory prerequisite for AI. You can't just skip that step anymore.
No, you really can't. And I love Pierre Ligori's metaphor for this. He compared MarTech platforms to pasta and marketing data to the sauce.
Oh yeah, this was great. People are obsessing over buying the most expensive real-time pasta machines.
But they're powering it with packet sauce. Most companies overcook the pasta and use packet sauce.
Right. If your data relies on manual spreadsheet uploads, you just bought a multi-million-dollar way to serve bad pasta.
Yeah, to be confidently wrong.
It totally reminds me of Phil Gamache and Anna Moran's podcast series where they turned MarTech architecture into this RPG-style dungeon crawl.
Oh, I saw that. It's a brilliant way to look at governance.
Yeah, they had these bosses you have to fight, like the hallucination oracle or the rotten context mage, which is basically just orphaned data from a 2019 webinar.
Exactly. And Anna Moran pointed out that the only way to defeat those bosses is with the data template potion. But it can't just be a static Word document on a shared drive.
Right, it has to be living governance.
Yeah, and force at the code level. Because without it, your AI just produces, as she put it, believable nonsense faster.
Believable nonsense.
Yeah.
That is so dangerous because executives love things that sound confident. So if data latency and these API bridges are killing AI performance, it totally makes sense that vendors are racing to own the decisioning middle layer.
Oh, they are aggressively trying to eliminate those bridges. Jonathan Moran pointed this out. The race isn't about email delivery anymore. Every vendor wants to be the engine that decides what to send and when.
Yeah, look at Databricks launching CustomerLake.
That was a blockbuster move.
Right, because they're a back-end data warehouse company. But CustomerLake is an agentic CDP built natively into the warehouse.
And Yolanda DeMello noted how this just completely blurs the line between a data warehouse and MarTech. If the CDP lives inside the warehouse, there's no API bridge, no latency penalty.
So you can run these infinity campaigns at millisecond speeds.
Yes. But Sigurd Dierix offered a massive reality check here. The market narrative assumes companies actually have governed data warehouses and perfect identity resolution.
Right, like everyone's just ready to go.
Exactly. But the market reality is most mid-market and enterprise companies are still trying to get their CRM and e-commerce platforms to agree on a single email address.
They're still trying to build their very first consistent customer view. But the vendors don't care. They are forcing this anyway. Christopher Marriott was talking about this huge M&A frenzy.
Oh, that's wild right now.
Mo Engage buying Ampy, Salesforce buying Contentful, BlueConic grabbing BlueShift.
Yeah, everyone is buying up whatever pieces they lack to build a single orchestration layer.
But wait, if Salesforce is buying up AI agents and headless CMS platforms, aren't we just going right back to the giant monolithic Frankensuites we tried to escape 10 years ago?
It's a very valid concern. Florian Delval warned about this exactly, saying that the bundle is back and history is basically repeating itself.
So we're just trapped in legacy bundles again.
Well, their goal this time is to become a single engagement operating system. So instead of just duct taping acquisitions together with internal APIs, they want to force everything onto one underlying data model.
Okay, so that actually solves the integration tax.
It does. But the trade-off is vendor lock-in. If you put all 6 layers on one vendor's unified model, you are never leaving.
Right, you're just trading the integration tax for the lock-in tax. So with all this technology consolidating and AI taking over the execution layer, what does an actual B2B marketing professional do now?
It's a massive shift. The focus moves away from plumbing and goes straight to the people and the context they provide. Christopher Swarup argued that marketing ops has to evolve from workflow builders into a GTM control plane.
Before the agents are even allowed to touch anything.
Exactly. And Daryl Alfonso actually mapped out the 4 future MomOps roles for this. First is the AI engineer.
Okay, the builder.
Right. Then the RevOps data lead to build the context and governance layer. Then the agent ops manager.
Which is such a wild job title.
It is. But they monitor the fleet of agents, adjust guardrails, make sure they aren't hallucinating. And finally, the RevOps analyst to run the system and measure outcomes.
Getting humans out of the manual execution business is honestly for the best. Sarah McNamara shared this war story where she audited an enterprise system and found 11 different spellings of the word campaign.
Oh, wow, just human error at scale.
Exactly. So she advocates for centralized production systems, like NAC. So MOps stops being the cleanup crew, constantly reconciling channels after launch.
Right. If AI handles the deployment from a rigid brief, the human is freed up. And Leah Cassidy and Janessa Lance highlighted exactly what they should be doing with that time. Building messaging architecture.
Okay, wait, what does that actually mean? Because it can't just be a PDF about brand tone.
No, AI can't read a vibe from a PDF. It needs structured, machine-readable context. Marketers have to build these dense matrices of products, differentiators, specific use cases.
Oh, I see. Because if you don't feed it that structured architecture, the AI just spits out generic robotic garbage.
Exactly. That architecture is your new competitive edge.
It sounds like marketers are basically moving from being the line cooks frantically chopping vegetables in the back to being the executive chefs.
That is a perfect analogy.
Like you design the menu, you source the ingredients, you provide the context, while the AI does the actual repetitive cooking.
And it aligns beautifully with what Cecily B. took away from the Cannes Lions Festival. Despite all this talk about agentic AI and composable MarTech, the ultimate goal is to make ads for humans, not for algorithms or spreadsheets.
Right, because buyers are still just stressed out humans trying to solve a problem.
Exactly. Renee S. noted that when founders pitch, the one who wins the room isn't the one with the best tech stack. It's the one who is the most authentic. Authenticity beats tech every single time because algorithms fundamentally lack empathy.
They don't have lived experiences.
Right. And finding that human layer, understanding the emotional toll of the buyer's problem that's a dataset technology cannot generate.
So as AI makes execution instantaneous and flawless across the board, and every competitor has the exact same AI capabilities.
Efficiency just becomes a complete commodity.
Yeah. So the only true competitive moat left for a B2B brand is going to be that unautomatable, messy, distinctly human intuition and creativity that you feed into the machine in the first place.
Absolutely. The machine can cook, but you have to give it the taste.
If you enjoyed this episode, new episodes drop every 2 weeks. Also check out our other editions on account-based marketing, field marketing, channel marketing, AI and B2B marketing, go-to-market, and social selling. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you all next time.